partners. Welcome back to our In the Hot Seat panels as part of ScanSource's Discover Opportunity series of content. I'm Kyle DeWitt. I'm the Vice President of Technical Services here at ScanSource. And today we've brought two of our industry thought leaders from our suppliers to help communicate to you where we can find opportunities collectively in this time where the retail and grocery industry is transitioning. And as you have seen in some of our other content, we're focusing on the evolution of the storefront, logistics challenges, and today we'll be focusing a little bit heavier on online ordering and protecting customer experience. So with me today, I have Tim King from Zebra and Marcelo Munoz from Star. Welcome, gentlemen, and let's get started with just some introductions from you guys. Tim, I'll start with you. You're on my left on my screen, so if you take a minute, just introduce yourself and your role there at Zebra.
Thanks, Kyle, and glad to be with you today to talk about these exciting times. My role at Zebra, I'm a retail industry consultant, and in that space I spend a lot of time across all of our retail customers in North America talking about industry trends, how those trends are impacting them and the initiatives that they're involved in. So it's a role that is very exciting today with everything that's happened in the past year.
Yep, absolutely. And Marcelo, how about for you?
Thanks, Kyle. Well, I've been with Star already as channel partner executive 8 years already, and working along with our distribution partners, working closely with our ISVs, introducing them to the channel, and seeing really the pulse of what's evolved, especially within the last year, how things have gone from what we dubbed originally a digital transformation into a full-on digital revolution. So, we had a motto of, challenge equals opportunity, and definitely we had a lot of that last year. But at the same time, it opened up some new doors.
Yeah, and I'm glad I have you two joining me today, mutually addressing one issue, and we have one in Miami and one in Boston. You couldn't be further apart.
Almost polar opposites.
Today. Yeah. All right, so Marcelo, let's stay with you. So, like I said in the opener, our trend that we're looking at today is online ordering and CX and protecting CX, or our customer experience. And as you both have indicated, these industries, the retail specifically industry, is really changing and moving towards that online ordering experience. But you do have businesses that are born in brick and mortar, and they really value that face-to-face customer experience. So as we start to see this transition of brick and mortar born businesses moving and adopting technology, where are you seeing they need the most help in getting into this new world of transactions?
Really, it's incredible how what was once a nuance, sort of like oh, let's try out this application to order my food, is, my lunch is coming in from DoorDash later today because I'm here now and I don't have time to go out and get my lunch. So it's sort of like a social phenomenon, really, with the pandemic and people trying to take care of themselves. And even before that, you would see ghost kitchens adopting certain, cloud technologies and whatnot. So brick and mortar, I gotta hand it to quite a few of those businesses. Target comes to mind, Kroger, Best Buy, they all adopted, that curbside pickup from an online order, whether it's from your phone or from your computer. They adapted really quickly. So, you see that from the top level looking down. There's certain companies that are localized, regional, that are also adopting that. So, the ISVs are at the core of this whole thing. ISVs definitely are creating that opportunity for businesses, small and medium, to have that online feature to their business, to keep those doors open and the customers flowing in.
Yeah, and Tim, I know you guys represent a lot of different products in the technology space here, so I'm sure you've got some comments here on what Zebra is seeing as well.
Yeah, that's great. And I echo everything that Marcelo said, that there's been a tremendous transformation. And I actually heard somebody coin the phrase, we've crossed the digital Rubicon. which if you remember back to Caesar crossing the Rubicon, that we essentially entered a new era. So the customers that we work with, and especially if you look at the grocers and the big box customers, they remained open throughout the pandemic. And what they had to do is they had to shift almost overnight to a point where they had to service their customers in a way that they weren't used to servicing them, mainly online. And online creates a lot of challenges for retailers, regardless of what segment you're in. One of the big challenges is that your store associates are not used to shopping. They're used to doing the tasks in the store. So many of them, the retailers deployed are mobile devices to help with the picking process. They also help with the online curbside delivery process. If you look at almost every segment of retail, and again, I'll go back to grocery because I think they are the ones who adopted the quickest and probably have done the best with it. The idea that now they're offering curbside. So again, our mobile devices that they're able to use not only to get the order, pick the order, but to deliver the order to the customer at curbside, and in many cases, take a payment along that as well. So that's one area where Zebra saw tremendous growth last year, and we think that's going to continue into this year and the next few years.
Lots of technology going in to enable these solutions with really crazy acronyms. BOPUS has become part of our vernacular all of a sudden, that we're buying online, picking up in store, or even buying online and returning in the store, which becomes Boris, Rocky and Bullwinkle, maybe. But yeah, so I mean, there's all these new words that are being introduced, and Marcelo, you said it right earlier, that it's been another unintended theme in these panels, that this digital revolution has happened, and we've been forced to adopt technology faster than anyone had planned for. And so again, that's our goal here, is just talking to our partners about where they can do that and where we can help. So Tim, if we stay with you and kind of add on to the comments that you made there are a lot of these businesses in this industry who were online first. Like that's their go-to-market, is they were a way to procure products online first. DoorDash being one of them, right?
Yeah.
So now we have the brick and mortars that are they've always been competing for mind share and revenues with these online first organizations. But what are we doing now? What are partners doing now? What are customers doing now to evolve the experience that their customers have with their brand to compete with those online first companies?
The brick and mortar companies, the traditional brick and mortar companies, and I have to give them a lot of credit because I think they've done a great job. One of the things they're really trying to do is they're trying to make sure that their online or the digital offering is as good an experience as the in-store offering, or maybe reverse, because the digital offering came after the store. A lot of those are very elegant and very easy to use. And what the retailers are trying to do is make sure that when you do get to the store, you have that same experience, whether it's a loyalty program and you're getting the promotions that were allowed you through the loyalty program, or whether it's just the ease of shopping. So we're starting to see the brick and mortar retailers really focus on the customer experience across both the brick and mortar and the digital. And that's exciting because we're seeing a lot of changes to the way that they deliver their services to their customer. And there's a big focus now on safety in the store. There's also a focus on making sure that you have the inventory there when the customer gets there. Because if you think about it, when you order online, you have a trust built up that you're going to get that product when you come to pick it up. That same trust should be when you go to the store and physically go shopping and expect to fill up your shopping list. You should be able to find those products. So there's a lot of activity in that space to make sure that the online offering is consistent with the in-store offering, and also to make sure that the inventory at the store when you get there for the brick and mortar experience is available.
Thank you. I can use a callback to one of our other panels that we focus on logistics, and don't think necessarily warehouse logistics. Think exactly what you just said, Tim. You've got one shared inventory inside a store, and now you have multiple channels, online orders, sales associates picking, et cetera, and foot traffic, people walking in the door, and they're all buying for the same goods. And so it's added a whole new crazy layer to inventory management that some of these stores weren't prepared for. So Marcelo, if I come to you and we stay on this this theme of protecting brand and establishing this new customer experience with online experiences, have you seen partners or even customers that have been particularly successful with these new customer experiences and online purchases? And if so, what are they doing right?
So really, what they've adopted kind of is like a hands-on approach, um, developing as far as the rewards programs and different ways to get that customer sticky to them. I think that's the way to go, right? You definitely want to have the customer to have different options, right? If there's no inventory in one location, they have to pick it up somewhere else. So, the larger customers is much easier to do that. But when you're talking about small and medium businesses, obviously, customer retention is crucial. So the experience has to be fluid from start to finish. Communication is key. When they place an order, they need to have that taken care of quickly, because if not, I mean, the ecosystem is so big right now, that these guys at the top of the food chain have already established themselves. Anybody that's coming in now has to adopt very fluid ways of business to keep up with those that are already established. And this goes for even for online ordering for food or online ordering for retail. You really can have snafus that'll get that customer to just not go back and click on that app ever again. You have to have complete service, and definitely the best experience for that customer has to be simple, has to be a couple of pushes of the button. Okay, I'm going to go to that location, pick up my stuff, go home, and then talk about it with my friends. Say, hey, this is where you guys need to go buy.
Yeah, and where you said these consumers have all these choices now, and it's really hard to establish loyalty with today's consumer. You have one bad experience, they're gone forever, and they'll tell their friends too that don't go back. So so it's important to get it right. It's important for customers to have trusted advisors in their partners that are providing these solutions to them. And again, that's
Keep it simple, really, I
of us,
think
right?
is the key to it, right? So if you have a loyalty program, you're gaining points, make instead of points, bucks. So you have a dollar amount that you could attach to. I mean, it sounds very minimal, but on the lower level of the things, with small and medium businesses, that's it. That's really the only way that they're going to be able to compete and stay open.
Marcel, you made a great point about loyalty, and you also stressed on the small and medium businesses. The big guys, they have resources, and they can make investments, and they can do some level of experimentation. With the small and medium guys, they still have to invest. And I think that's important, because technology is going to be a way that they can give loyalty and provide loyalty. But I think they have to be kind of very strategic about their investments and make sure that they hit the right investments. And I think your mention of keeping it simple is just so nice, and it makes so much sense. And if you can find a technology that will allow you to create a simpler, more elegant customer experience, that's where I think you win.
Exactly. Yeah, technology is key to that. Star has had some great experience with these newer technologies that have come out, and it's been a key to the success of keeping all of these businesses open. If we were to think what happened in 2020 happened in 2010, I don't think we'd be smiling right now what the end result would have been. So it's unfortunate what happened, but at the time, I think we had the technology cushion to absorb as much as we could, and right now, there's much more positive outlook rather than the continuation of the negative.
Yeah, so let's wrap up by making that tangible, Marcelo. So one of our goals here is to help our partners identify not only how do they identify opportunities where technology can solve their end users' problems, but what if it's in a space that they're not comfortable with? What resources do they have? Which is a shameless plug for all of us involved, right? Because the leading the witness answer is, well, of course, you call ScanSource, you call Zebra, you call Star. That's the natural answer, but all of us have mutual customers who they have their comfort zones, and sometimes their comfort zone is front of house, it's point of sale, it's security, it's networking, et cetera. But now we're talking about building solutions out, partnering with ISVs. You referenced that earlier, but what types of resources do you find that the successful partners leverage in order to help build out the right solutions for their customers?
To coin the phrase, not one size fits all. Really, what we're doing, strongly focusing. Last year we really wanted to emphasize it. Obviously, everything that happened kind of deterred it slightly, but we're going full force, talking about that complete solution that you mentioned, especially in the POS world, where it could be a printer, but the printer also has all the peripherals that are around it, and that's the solution that we're striving to let everybody know that we have. Obviously, without the ISV partner in there, it's a different story, right? These are the guys that are really working, coding and being creative and offering all these wonderful ideas on a tablet. But we need to translate that tablet into action, and that tablet needs to be put at the core of that solution. So I think it's an exciting time, with different technologies that are out there. Star has a technology called Cloud Print that allows direct communication from an online application to a printer. So you're eliminating a lot of the noise that would sort of slow down an operation, to just streamline it in, to start picking, and whether it's an order for food or if it's an order for a store pickup, all of that streamlined. To that point, partners need to identify with their customers what is it that they need. If they need from payments to hardware, great. That's the ideal situation to be in, when you can offer the complete solution. And I think that's where everybody needs to go. If they're going to offer one product, they need to definitely consider going down the line and offering everything else that's around it, because a lot of that's even products that they can sell, consumables that renews later. So it adds to their wallet size with that customer. So I would say total solution, the most ideal, offer it no matter what.
You mentioned the printing solution, and I failed to promote your pizza shop video on the website we were talking about in the opener, but that's a perfect example of how small businesses are adopting this stuff. So, Tim, to you for final remarks here. Same question though, and in your role, obviously, as an industry consultant, I know you're playing firsthand this role of helping partners solve for these needs with their customer base. But so like I said, same question to you. Where do you find those successful partners are leveraging resources?
Well, great. I'm going to steal a little bit of what Marcelo said and then maybe expand upon that. What we're trying to tell our partners and our direct salespeople at Zebra is have conversations about areas where the customer is likely to need some help. So let me just give you a couple of examples. We all talked early on about the whole e-commerce and everything that's happening there. Well, e-commerce spans a very wide area. It spans from the order that you receive, picking the order, fulfilling the order, taking payment, all of that. And if you go to a retailer and if you just start a conversation with them, how is your e-commerce solution working? Are there any areas where you'd like to improve it? What we're seeing is retailers are willing to talk, and they're also willing to act, and they're acting now faster than they ever have before, because it's you act or you die. So we're having those conversations. Then the other area that I encourage you to have conversations would be around inventory. How are you handling your inventory in store now, with the understanding that you're using stores to fulfill online orders, and you're also using stores to fulfill orders of the customers who come to the store? And even though online has exploded and accelerated far faster than we ever expected, it still only represents about 25% of the orders. So that means you still have 75% of the business being done in the store. So are there things that you're trying to do with in-store inventory where we might be able to help? And once those conversations start to happen, then you go to the ISVs that Marcelo talked about, and you start to engage the ISVs who have expertise in that area. And I think that's a winning combination.
Yeah, I appreciate the stat there. I had read somewhere that 30% of online purchases become a return, whereas in-store purchases, it's less than, it's 8%.
Yeah.
So if you got 30% of 25% of the sales, that's still a significant amount of inventory that you're having to handle returns on. So yeah,
returns is a whole other animal. Could spend hours on that.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so I'll close this out again. Thank you, Tim and Marcelo, for joining us for this quick panel today. To our partners, hopefully you've got a lot of good information here. Again, these are your resources. My team with the engineering team, your ScanSource team, sales side, as well as our suppliers. We're all here to help you be successful as you help your customers transition through this transformation of retail and grocery. For more information and to see the all their panels that I keep mentioning and doing callbacks on, head to scansource.com/retail and grocery. And with that, I will sign us off. Thank you again, Tim. Thank you, Marcel.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you very much.
Great to talk to you.
Stay safe, everybody.